Yes, I do identify myself as a feminist, and that simply means that women are equal to men, and the history of bias and unconscious bias against women means that we need to take deliberate steps to ensure that women have equal opportunities in our society. I'm very privileged, I have to say. So although I worked in male-dominated companies in sectors like transportation, and I was the only female finance spokesperson of any political party for a while. I was the only woman on the Finance and Expenditure Committee. And I don't feel that I have experienced that bias as much personally, but the fact that women are underrepresented in those areas is a problem for society, because the decisions made about economics and finance, about transport policy, affect the everyday lives of women. And if we don't have diversity at the highest level, then we won't make decisions that are good for everyone. As Minister for Women, I want to make sure that government is supporting private business and other organizations to eliminate those barriers to women being in leadership positions. There are many ways. Firstly, we lead by example. So this new government is absolutely committed to closing the gender pay gap and to ensuring that there's good representation of women in public sector organizations. So we have direct control over that. We have control over how much we pay people. We have control over who is appointed to public sector boards. And so we will be ensuring that there is a diversity strategy and that we're increasing the opportunities for women. With the private sector, it's trickier. Yeah. I have to work with the private sector and find out what do the women in the private sector see as the barriers? What are the levers government can pull? Within 3 to 4 years, we will close the gender pay gap in the core public service. If they're being underpaid, yes, we can close that gap in 3 to 4 years in like for like. Achieving pay equity may take a little bit longer, and there are a number of negotiations and cases going on at the moment with women who are working either in the private sector or in the wider public sector, so mental health nurses, part-time teachers, all of that is wider public service, and they are going through a process now similar to the one Christine Bartlett went through to take a successful case against her employer Terra Nova. So care and support workers, not just women, but everybody working in female-dominated professions could have a pay rise. Extending paid parental leave, ensuring there's flexible working hours, and ensuring that fathers and other parents are able to take a greater share, so it's a more equal share of childcare, will help close the gender pay gap. We can't be responsible for other political parties, but the Green Party has certainly led the way. We had explicit policies from the beginning that were about encouraging female leadership and female representation in Parliament. So we have not just one leader, we have male and female co-leaders. We have male and female co-conveners of our party, like presidents, and we have a gender-balanced approach to our list. That has encouraged women to be really involved in the Green Party, and now we have 7 out of our top 10 on our list were women. So 75% now of our caucus, our MPs, are women. And Labour have recently followed in with a similar policy around ensuring female and diverse representation. So many of their new MPs are women, and other, Māori, Pacifica, people from different communities that are underrepresented in Parliament. And so I think what that demonstrates is you have to have explicit policies. That doesn't bring down the quality of your MPs to have a diversity strategy. It lifts the competence and quality. In fact, I'd say the highest performing people on our list were women, and that's why we have so many women. But we can't do anything. The National Party and the New Zealand First Party would have to change their approach to list ranking in order to increase the number of women in Parliament overall. So or the Green Party and the Labour Party get more votes. Then we get more women in Parliament. Yes. I think that's a really interesting thing to explore. And if women feel that's really important, that it's something they need, then that's something that we could investigate. I don't have enough information to comment on whether or not we can make that policy. But if women are coming to me, and I also have a role in Associate Health as well as being the Minister for Women, and I'll have a particular focus on women's health. So I think that's exploring the opportunities and the options to make life better for women will be a major focus. The Green Party policy is to remove abortion from the Crimes Act. We absolutely want to change the approach. We don't think it should be a crime, and we don't think it should be treated as a criminal issue. It's a health issue. Women need to be well supported with family planning and well supported to make the decision that's right for them and their family. We are extremely concerned about the rate of domestic violence, and I'm proud to say that my colleague, Jan Logie, who is a Green Party MP and now the Undersecretary to the Minister of Justice with a specific focus on domestic and sexual violence. I think she'll, with her experience and her context, she will be able to make some real progress in this area and support the new government to implement effective policies that reduce domestic and sexual violence and support the victims of domestic and sexual violence. I think there are challenges, definitely, but I think that there's more government could be doing to get a better outcome. And I think part of the problem is there hasn't been a very victim-centric approach. I think it's by talking and working with victims that we can find the ways to minimize the harm and to start working on prevention. Yes, I think there are a number of initiatives. And interestingly, there's already work going on, and I think it's coordinated by the Human Rights Commission. But we have been looking at bills that will help protect women, and particularly migrant women, because oftentimes if they come over and their residency is dependent on their spouse, then the spouse has a lot of power over them. And so we need to make it possible for women to be protected, to be safe, to seek assistance and help. Government can be doing more to ensure that there are services available in every language that is spoken in New Zealand, but also providing that protection through our immigration policy that women, once they're here and on track to residency, that their residency is not dependent on their partner. Ni hao, kia ora. My name's Julie Anne Genter. I'm a member of Parliament for the Green Party and the new Minister for Women, Associate Minister of Transport, and Associate Minister of Health. As an Aucklander, I want to say to the Chinese community in Auckland and in the rest of New Zealand that the Green Party absolutely welcomes you and your values and concerns about the future of New Zealand. It's vitally important that we all work together to create the New Zealand we want. I think there are amazing opportunities to have a more inclusive and diverse society, one in which we're looking out for the long term of our country, to clean up our environment, to protect our climate, to ensure that there are critical public services like health and education available to everyone of all ages. And thank you for all of the contributions that you already make to making New Zealand a fantastic place.